Everyone, welcome back to the Legal Explorer. I am Advocate Romana. Today we are discussing about a very important and the controversial topic, the Waqf Amendment Act 2025, which has created a major debates across the country. The Supreme Court of India has reserved its verdict after hearing arguments for 3 full days. So I am going to explain you what was happening in the Supreme Court all these 3 full days. So before going into the discussion, we have to know the background of the amendment. So what was the background of the amendment? As we know, the Waqf Amendment Act 2025 was passed by Lok Sabha on April 3rd and by the Rajya Sabha on April 4th and got presidential assent. Is nothing but the presidential has signed the bill on April 5th. This act has amended the Waqf Act of 1995, which deals with the properties dedicated for the religious or the charitable purposes under Islamic law. So, what was the issue? Why these many debates are going all over the country? So, several petitions were filed in the Supreme Court, including by the MPs such as Muhammad Javed, who belongs to the Congress, and Asaduddin Owaisi, who belongs to AIMIM. They were challenging this law. Petitioners said that the new law is discriminatory towards Muslims and it interferes with their religious right to manage religious affairs, which is a right guaranteed under Article 26 of the Constitution. So, and there was a controversy. What was the controversy? Waqf by user was removed. What is a Waqf by user? See, this is the one of the major change in the new act which removed Waqf by user. Waqf by user is nothing but where even without a deed, if a land was used for the religious purposes like masjid or the graveyard, it will be treated as a waqf. So petitioners they got fear that this will endanger centuries old masjid, graveyards and the charitable lands which don't have the formal documents. What was the center's response? What did the center responded to this petitioners side? The central government says this change was necessary to stop misuse of Waqf law. Many people were illegally declaring private or the government land as Waqf. So, so they say that this removal does not stop Muslims from dedicating property to God, but only brings the proper documentation and the rules. So, on this issue, on the issue of the non-Muslims in the Waqf board, the center says their inclusion is minimal and only for the inclusivity and that it does not hurt any Muslim rights. Did any state government support was there to this act? Yes. 6 BJP ruled states, Haryana, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and the Chhattisgarh and Assam, who supported the amendment and filed applications in the Supreme Court. You know the important points from the hearing. Now we are coming to the important part of the video. What were the important points from the hearing? See, the former Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, is no more hearing this case, and the matter was heard by present Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gawai, and the Justice Augustine George Massey. The Union government assured the court that it will not implement key parts of the act for now. So, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, even he argued, he said that Waqf is not an essential religious practice. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, he said Waqf is not an essential religious practice. Waqf boards perform secular functions. Unlike Hindu endowment boards, which manages temples and rituals, non-Muslims cannot create Waqf, but they can donate to a Waqf. The 5-year Muslim practice condition is added to prevent the fraud. See, tribal lands were being wrongly claimed as Waqf. This was all said by the argued by the Tushar Mehta. What was the petitioner's argument? Petitioners they say if a non-Hindus are not allowed in Hindu endowment boards, why should non-Muslims be allowed in the Waqf board? Yes or no? They are also concerned about the removal of the Waqf board's power to decide what is Waqf property. Now only the tribunal can decide. They argue this is an attack on Muslim religious identity and the historic endowments. To conclude this video by saying that the Supreme Court has now reserved its verdict. Till then, the government has promised not to implement some parts of the law. This case is a major test for minority rights, property laws, and the religion freedom in India, which is governed under Article 26 of the Indian Constitution. So, what are your thoughts on this controversial amendment? This is it is a step towards a reform, or does it hurt constitutional rights? Let me know in the comments.